Okay, we are learning Daf Lamed Beis Amid Beis. We're going to start on the bottom of Lamed Beis Amid Aleph. Here we go. It says Amar Rabbi Yehuda 2, 4, 7 lines up from the bottom. There's a little gimel there that says it should really say Amar Mar, because we're going to go through the whole brisa that we just learned here on Daf Lamed Beis, and we're going to elucidate it. So here we go. Amar Rabbi Yehuda minayin l'chamesh yosa asar kiddushin shudei ben kan gadol mekadesh by yom. How do we get to this? Again, it's halacha Sinai, but we're going to show the word is the halacha Sinai is there because it teaches us how to read the psukim. It's fascinating. It tells us that we have to have one pasuk out of order, according to the halacha Sinai. And Rabbi Yehuda and Rebbe give us different drushes to teach you that you need to be taivel when you're changing, and that it requires a kiddush raglayim before and after. So here we go. Pasuk tells us, Uba Aaron el oil mayad. Aaron comes to the oil mayad. V'rachat es b'saroi b'mayim. He's going to wash his body in water. That's tefillah. B'makam kadosh. When you're changing from one avodah to another avodah, ta'un tefillah means when you're changing your clothing. Me'avodas pnim f'tavodas chutz, or from chutz l'pnim. So then you need tefillah. Ashcha mi big day love. And this pasuk is talking about when you're changing from big day love to big day zav. But big day zav, big day love, and minayin. How do you know when you're going from big day zav to big day love? And you need to change. So then every small type of lam beis amid beis kavachemeru. I make a kavachemer. Uma big day zav shein koyin nichnes behen lefnai v'lefnim. In the big day zav, which you don't call lefnai v'lefnim, ta'un tefillah, you still need to go to the mikvah before you put on your big day. Before you put on your big day zav, so big day love and shenichas ben l'fnei v'lefnim. When you're putting on your big day love, and when you're going to go l'fnei v'lefnim, any dish don't tefillah, certainly you'll need to go to the mikvah. So if I know that when you're changing into your big day zav, you have to go to the mikvah. So certainly when I'm changing into my big day love, you have to go to the mikvah. What do you mean? I could slug up your kal v'chaymer. Mala big day zav shekin kaprasa meruba. Maybe dafka when you're going to your big day zav, because kaparas and meruba, tap Rashi, shemishamish ben kolimes hashana, you use them every day. So kaparas and meruba, they affect a lot of kapara. It only affects the kapara of tumas mikdashu kadashav. So it's not kaparas and meruba. So maybe you do not require tefillah. Somewhere says, Elam nafkale midirebi. You're going to have to learn it the way Rebbe knew. How did Rebbe know it? We'll see in a minute. I'm a Rebbe. Bad kodesh yilbash. The pasuk says when you're putting on your ksenis bad kodesh, you're putting on your linen clothing, and so it says v'rachatz b'mayim. So I see when you're going from big day zav to big day lavan. I guess that's where he knows it from, meaning it's a pasuk. So that's how Rabbi Yehuda is going to learn it. He's going to learn from here. So big day lavan, big day zav minayin. But what about you're going the other way from big day lavan to big day zav? How do you know? Then you need a change. Now he's not going to learn from where Rabbi Yehuda learned from, because he used that pasuk to teach us. He learns that pasuk of Arachatz to teach you Kiddush Yadayim Raglayim. Someone says, "Ask how do you know it?" Someone says, "Minayin Tan Deber Rishmal Kal V'Chaymer." I can make a Kal V'Chaymer. Ma big deal, and Shein Kaparas and Meruba to an Tefillah. Big day 11 doesn't have kaparas and meruba, and still it needs a tefillah. Big day zav she kaparas and meruba, and he then shadon and tefillah. Certainly, big day 11 are going to need it, because it's certainly big when you're changing into your big day zav, which is not kaparas and meruba, which is kaparas and meruba. So certainly you'll need to be tefil. Ikal Mifrach says mal big day 11 shekin nichnas lebehen lefnei v'lefnim. Big day 11 your kindness lefnei v'lefnim. So maybe that's why Big Day Love get it, but Big Day Zav don't get it, because you're not bringing Lefnim. And that's why the Brisa brought another pasuk, and it says, "I'm a Big Day Kodesh Aim." it adds the fact that the big day kodesh v'rachatz etz b'sar b'mayim ulevesham. So the extra words big day kodesh come today that all big day kodesh need tefillah. As long as the big day kodesh and big day zav are also called big day kodesh. Great. Says the Gemara, the Chamesh Avedis Hein. There are 5 Avedis. Tamash al Shachar Big Zav. Avedis Hayem Big Lovin. Elav Ela Big Zav. Kavu Machta. That's the shovel and the spoon that he had to go in. The Kohen Gadol had to go back into the Kodesh HaKodashim to take out. Was done by Big Day Lovin. Then they had back Tamash al Rabbaim Big Day Zav. So those are their 5 Avedis. Minayin shekol tefillah tzricha beis kiddushin. How do you know that every time you toivel you need a kiddush? Tamad leimer ufasha v'rachatz v'lavash. Spek Gemara. Hi, but tefillah ksiv. This pasuk is talking about tefillah. Going to the mikvah and says v'rachatz. It's not talking about kiddush and reglayim. So it says in tefillah. But according to Rebbe, I don't need this for tefillah because I already know that you're going to be toivel from the pasuk from changing from big day zav to big day lavan and big day kodesh. I know that you have to be table, so therefore this pasuk is extra to tell me kiddush yadayim v'raglayim. Excellent. So why doesn't it say that? Why does it say v'rachatz b'mayim? V'rachatz kol b'sari b'mayim. Just say v'kiddush yadav v'raglav. Why use a lashon of rechitza? Should I use a lashon of kiddush? Says the Gemara to teach you something. I'm kamash malan. The tefillah ki kiddush. Ma kiddush b'makam kodesh. Just like kiddush yadayim v'raglayim is done in a makam kodesh, after makam kodesh, tefillah also needs to be done in makam kodesh. In fact, the Gemara Rabbi Yehuda kiddush minali. Where does Rabbi Yehuda know kiddush yadayim v'raglayim from? Because he learns from this pasuk of v'rachatz. It's talking about being toivel. Nafkalim is Rabbi Elazar ben Shimon. He learns it from Rabbi Elazar ben Shimon, who makes the kavachomer that madach, if you're going from tefillah, on a regular day, when you come into the Beis HaMikdash, you need to be kiddush yadayim v'raglayim. You don't need tefillah, so certainly when you need tefillah, you need kiddush yadayim v'raglayim. Okay, so like the Gemara, Amar of Chisda, how the Rebbe, this shita of Rebbe that says, the way Rav Chisda understands it is that when are you being mekadesh yadav v'raglav? He says upashat. He reads the pasuk literally. Upashat. You take off your clothes. V'rachatz. You wash. You kiddush yadayim. V'rachatz. You do kiddush yadayim v'raglayim v'aglen. And when you come out of the mikvah, and v'lavish, and then you get dressed. So the kiddush yadayim v'raglayim was between pshita and lavisha. Okay, that means it really was before the tefillah and after the tefillah, but after they were both done undressed. Okay, so that is the shita. Rav Chisda understands that is what Rabbi, how Rabbi Yehuda understands. I'm sorry, Rav Chisda understands Rabbi's opinion. So Amar Rav Chisda says, how the Rabbi mafka mid Reb Meir. It goes against Reb Meir, umafka midrabanan, and goes against the Rabbanan. Mafka midrabanan, it's not like the Rabbanan. The Rabbanan say kishu lavush mekadesh. You did kiddush yadayim reglayim when you were dressed. Then you would get. Rabbanan held that first you were pashat. Second, Rashi. I know Reb Meir we learned said. What's this called? The version of Reb Meir. Let's really. I'm reading the Rashi. Let's learn Rashi. Mafkim the Reb Meir. Motzas he mechal the version of Reb Meir. Loi the Loi Siralei Reb Meir. You can't hold like Rameir. The Avagav that Rameir Masisi. Pashat v'kidesh yadav v'raglav. Disvirle kidesh shalaf ne'atfila. Achar pshita who. Okay, so the Reb Meir was of the opinion that you would be makad, that you would take off your clothes, wash, go to the mikvah, get dressed, and then wash your hands again. Okay, Palagalei miho b'kiddush sheni damer achad levishahi. Kektani Bryce the Remeir Leil loash kiddush the reglav. But what do the Chachamim hold? The Chachamim hold that first, right? Rabban hold that first you would wash your hands, then you would be paishit, then you would go to the mikvah, then you would get dressed, and then you'd do kiddush yadayim and raglayim. Both kiddush yadayim and raglayim were with clothes on. That was the sheet of Reb Meir. So that was the sheet of the Rabbanan. So Rebbe clearly doesn't hold like that because he says both are done while undressed, and so that's not like the Rabbanan. So Mavkum and the Rabbanon, the Rabbanon Amri Kishu Lavish Mekadesh. The Kiddush is always done when you're dressed. V'yu Amr Kishu Pashit Mekadesh. That both Kiddush are done when you're undressed. Mavkum and the Rameir, and it also does not hold like a Rameir. The Rameir Amr Hach Kiddush Basra. The second Kiddush, the second washing of hands is Kishu Lavish when you're already dressed. Kishu Lavish Mekadesh. V'yu Amr Kishu Pashit Mekadesh. So according to Rav Chisda, Rebbe holds like neither. Not like Rabbanan and not like Reb Meir. Amar Bar Yaakov disagrees. Hakol Maidim, he says, everybody agrees. Bekiddush Sheni, the second Kiddush Yadayim Reglayim was Shalevish. You got dressed first, v'achar kach makadosh, then you'd wash your hands. My time, what is his reason for that? The Pasuk says, the Pasuk says that you're going to this is the halacha that you wash your hands every morning. You wash your hands and you don't die. So you're going to the mizbech to serve. So he says here, the pasuk says that misha ina mechusar ela gisha. It's only somebody who's missing gisha going to the mizbech. But according to if you're going to say that you have to wash your hands, that you wash your hands before you get dressed, so then you're going to be missing lavisha and gisha. We want the washing to be done right before you're magish l'mizbech. That's after you're dressed. That's what Achbar Yaakov holds. So he says that first you get dressed, then you wash your hands, then you can go do the avodah. But not that you should wash your hands and then get dressed and then go to the avodah. That's Rav Acha Yaakov's opinion. Amalei Rav Acha Breder Rava. Rav Acha, the son of Rava, says to Rav Ashi, Loi Rav Chisda Isay de Rav Acha. Rav Chisda definitely doesn't hold the Rav Acha, and Rav Acha does not hold Loi Rav Acha Isay de Rav Chisda. The imkain, because that would be so if Rav Chisda would hold of Rav Acha, that would end up Havalei Chamesa Kiddushin. You'd end up washing your hands 15 times. Because Ach understands, according to Rebbe, that you wash your hands when you're paishit. When you are, when you're undressed is when you wash your hands. So if you tell me that there's another drasha that says that you have to wash your hands right before you do the avodah, and there can't be anything in between your washing and the avodah, so that would end up that he would require another 5 washing. So it must be he doesn't hold of him. They don't hold of each other. Gavalik. We shall continue at Hashem tomorrow.